Yeah, last night was a really remarkable sporting event. When they talk about cricket rivalry, you think to Australia's perspective, it's the Ashes. When you think to an Indian perspective, it's Pakistan, and vice versa. But cricket is not just a sport in Pakistan and India. It's a religion, and as such, that religion, this becomes the quest for the Holy Grail. And what a magic moment it was for Pakistan cricket. The thing that inspired me the most out of the performance was the fantastic sporting brotherhood, cricket community coming together in a very, very excited way, but in a way that was also a way forward in terms of how we should treat each other as people. That's the role of sport. So it's beautiful to see those moments where MS Dhoni's holding court with a few of the players, and Virat Kohli and Rizzi, in brotherhood, joining hands after there was heated battles in the middle. So fantastic. And the great humility from our perspective inside the change rooms, not getting carried away too much with the celebrations, but just this great humility, this great sense of spirit, and great sense of purpose moving into the next game against New Zealand. So all in all, I'm so proud of the boys. A special comment from my end as well around Dean Jones and how it is that he's always been there for Pakistan cricket. He's been on the phone to me, for years, telling me how great these young batters are and how special, Pakistan and the environment and the culture of cricket is in Pakistan. So a little shout out, to our spirit in heaven, that Dean Jones looking down, seeing an inspired Pakistan beat India was very, very special for me personally. It's amazing how cricket tends to levitate or elevate across borders, across flags, across, the presence of nations, but just into the purest sense of cricket. And one of the things that I admire so much about Pakistan cricket is how respectful it is to our great game. And so the boys and the country have made me feel extremely at home with the conditions, and I think that really permeated right across the entire team. There was a great calmness, a great sense of occasion, but not overawed by the occasion one bit. So very relaxed in its nature, and it was a good and calm and clinical type performance. Last night was dominated by Indian crowds, and in fact, I guess as an overseas player, would be that Pakistan or Australian or English, you do get, this sense of being inundated with Indian support. Such too is their love for our great game. But the way that they stayed, in the moment, everyone focused on their job at hand. With ball, we got the opportunity, and we were just magnificent. Absolutely. Two of the best ball. I've been watching cricket at this venue for 5 weeks now, and those two balls from Shaheen Afridi were just as good as any that I'd seen. In fact, as good as I've ever seen, full stop. To go inside that change room, take 2 wickets first up, be backed up by some really good spin bowling as well. And young Harris Ralph, who's an exciting young prospect, just cut him loose with great pace. That's the strength of Pakistan cricket in the field. So, that just silenced the crowd. A lot of the boys were talking about how it was just such a beautiful noise in front of an Indian crowd that's dominating. There's so much noise, but when you get a chance to dominate, that silence is just bliss. So it was very exciting. Look, I think velocity is something which has tended to vanish a bit out of our great game. And Pakistan has velocity in abundance, not just here, but also back home that aren't celebrating in this World Cup. So Shaheen really is that one leader within the bowling group. To get Rohit Sharma out the way that he had, with a fast Yorker, executed to absolute perfection. And KL Rahul has been in magnificent touch for the last 5 weeks. He has plundered bowling attacks all over the place, but nothing beats velocity. Velocity mixed up with some skill. You think back to the great Pakistani fast bowlers, and they always had that. They had great velocity. And, I don't need to mention, you all know who they are. And I faced plenty of them. It was great fun. But as a batsman, you're always thinking, whoa, that was quick, and I have to be sharp and on my game here. And that's what Shaheen Afridi has in abundance. One of the things that I admire the most about this group is their sense of spirituality and their sense of worship to that. And to me, you know, the human spirit is one thing, but when it's inspired by Almighty, it's dangerous. So, you know, great blessings and great joy. And I know that the boys, you know, from all parts of the world, not just Pakistan, you know, have been admired for what they achieved over the last 24 hours. But the great humility that exists by understanding that it was just one moment, and now the job is to remain in that moment for New Zealand and other matches that are coming up in this tournament. So please, thank you for your praise, but now it's time to get back down to business, get into the hard work of getting in the moment of the game and trying to press on now in our mindset and quest towards the next game, which is New Zealand.